Nope. 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 No. No, I refuse to accept the narrative that the broadcast, like, credit to Jat, fantastic cast. I know it wasn't him saying this. I forget who was casting at the moment with him. But there was the point of North America should be happy that this series was close, that it was a winnable position. Bitch, we've had winnable positions for North America against the East for 7 straight years now, and we have not converted on one of them, while at the same time also getting fucked by Brazil on the backside as well now, which used to not be a problem. No, I'm sorry, I'm not going to take like the result of this tournament as the positive takeaway when it's quite literally more of the same, with the bottom also falling out beneath it. So let's get into this. This series today, expectations coming into it were that it was probably going to be a blowout for JDG, given the form that we saw from Lion so far. And it's genuinely a shock that it wasn't. Like, great, we should have won game 1. They should have won game 2, the one game that we won. So the argument of like, oh, one side should have gone this way or not, kind of irrelevant at the end of the day. Berserker, man, please, keys to the city. Absolute keys to the city. Man just fried the entire series. Like, just was on one the entire time. He was the sole reason that we were in this game. He was getting kills in lane. Isles not having the best series at points, but at the end of the day, like, he was helping Berserker get ahead, so I'll give him credit there. But, dude, the comms every time that they leaned in. And I saw Peter Dunn tweet out about, oh, it's weird how they're painting Inspired out with this particular light based on the comms and listening in. I guess League folks are just really sensitive to that shit. We hear it all the time in Call of Duty. So, like, for me, I'm glad that we get to hear this. And it's just confirmation of, like, dude, this team, when you get to these high pressure moments, just doesn't seem to be on the same page. Now, I don't think Inspired had a good series today. Like, I know a lot of people will say, oh, he's shot calling, he's still doing these other things. He missed every critical smite fight down the stretch. There were quite a few engages early on in this series that I'm just sitting there like, why are you going in? Why are you like rage going in 1v5 just to have to flash out and you're going to die? Like, that's exactly what happened over and over again. Dokla, look, I love the guy to death. I really do. But obviously he's not going to compare to some of the tops from the East. The whole goal with him should just be to put him on scaling, and hopefully it works out, because these counter picks that he's trying to make work, or like the Aatrox in this last game, it just doesn't exude the same level of pressure that champions from the East do. And when you have a clear win con in this series like Berserker, you just got to feed into that. Like, in my opinion, you got to read the situation and feed into that as much as you can, as long as your matchup isn't going to get too screwed in lane. So there's that. But Saint, oh God, what do I say about Saint right now? Like, oh, how do I be as respectful as possible with this while also, freaking out a little bit at the same time? Dude, what was that? Like, he got the solo kill on Ryze, and that was the one game that I didn't actually get to watch, because shocker, again, this is all during the workday here on the East Coast, which is mind-blowing. I'll get to that later in this video. But other than that, I'm seeing him get solo killed multiple times, step up, take weird things. He single-handedly lost that game 4. Like, I don't care what anybody says. That Azir play where he goes in under tier 1 tower and burns 3 flashes just to get hooked and die. Like, I get you're burning 3 flashes. Like, that's the Optimus angle looking out on that. But there's no world where you get out of that. Like, if you're not tracking flashes, it's like, oh, great, you burn them all. Okay, you burn them all for them to flash under tower and be perfectly fine. You give Jinx the reset, and then it just snowballs from there. Why? Why are you doing that? There's multiple plays from Saint that I'm just like, oh, God, what is happening right now? Why? Oh, again, close series, winnable at points, but like, this is the North American Classic, and why, like, for our region, you see so many fans like getting frustrated with this, because it is the exact same looking series in various different ways, whether it's like a slight early game lead or maybe our late game team fighting's better, but we lose every series in kind of a similar fashion in some way, shape, or form. That it's like, it feels like it might be within touching distance, but it never actually is. And then you get to look over at Europe, now transition over to that series, and you just watch them, like, even though they can look bad at times, their ceiling is just so much higher. And like, even though I know people were burnt out on G2 and frustrated, they did exactly what they needed to do. Now they're going against Gen G in the next round. Nobody's expecting them to win that, and that's perfectly fine. I think this is for G2 overall, great tournament leaving it. You 3-0'd the second seed from Korea. That's momentum builder going in the MSI. For Europe, you are beyond happy with how this tournament went. 100%. You walk back happy. Spring split should be a ton of fun because there's teams that can contend with G2 and push them even further. Like, you leave this tournament optimistic for what's to come. Absolutely. Skumon, by the way, I think rightfully deserves the title now. Like, even though it's one series and you're kind of projecting a little bit further, Skumon genuinely is like battling inspired for best jungler in the West. Title might have it over him. That might be a little bit of like dick riding this particular series, but for the most part, I still think like people are sleeping on like his overall presence relative to the entire Western League of Legends space right now. Caps didn't even have that great of a series, but BB stepped up massively. I mean, oh, dude, what G2 this morning, like, you're just watching this 3-0 happen, and it's like, oh, the pressure's now on North America entirely. And we just dropped the ball again. Like, thank God we didn't get blown out, but we dropped the ball. Now, I know there's going to be negativity, and I can see the comments for this video already coming. Oh, you guys kept it close. Why are you being so negative? Take the positives away from this. Like, don't be the negativity guy. Look, I'm still going to enjoy domestic play. I am. But, like, you can't sit here as a North American fan and just be like, yeah, I'm going to walk away from this happy. I had to watch my team nearly lose to Brazil, get absolutely blasted by BLG, which fine, like, at this point, because G2 won their series over the second seed from Korea, we can arguably write off like how bad the losses were to the one seeds. They're just on a different caliber to everybody else. Fine. But then we lose this heartbreak as well. All of which, while I'm freaking working and I'm taking meetings during. And this is an event that's in Brazil that's supposed to be on a time frame that in theory is good for North America too, because Brazil's 1 hour ahead of us. Okay? So we're on the same shit. Yet somehow they're forced to be there during the day as well for this studio event. It's like, dude, if you're gonna cater to the global audiences by taking events to various different places around the world, you have an obligation to make sure that the people that are in those regions that you're trying to cater towards by hosting those events there are the ones that you're actually planning for, not making the time zones so friendly to Europe, Korea, and China that they get precedent. In that case, why host the events here at all? And by all means, I want to have events, but now I'm scared that Worlds this year, like, what time are you going to put the matches on for group stage? You're going to put them on at like freaking, well, I mean, if there's 8 hours of games to be played, you should plan on the last game being done around like 10 o'clock-ish, 10:30. So start at 2, go to 10. I think that's fine. If you have like a 4 or 5 hour window, that needs to be starting at prime time. That series starts at 6 o'clock. 100% 6 o'clock. If it goes to 11, it goes to 11. It can stay late. That's perfectly fine. We're used to staying up for sports till 11 o'clock in prime time here. Like, don't overthink this. We stayed up to watch Ninja and Drake play Fortnite together at what, 3:30 in the morning? I think that was when they were all together, and there was like 500,000 people watching. Miss me with the bullshit like, oh, NA fans can't stay up late. We'll be fine. It's prime time for us, and China and Korea will be up by then. Like, holy shit. Look, the final thing I'll say is this. The crash out is somewhat averted by this result. Like, there's just enough there for everybody to bite off to kind of like hold the doomsday side of things from coming in right away. But there's an honest to God conversation that we need to have in this region around developing our own talent and our infrastructure and our pipeline that leads up to these moments that orgs need to be held accountable for. We saw FlyQuest announce that they have a tier 2 initiative. But I just want to remind people, because I think Homie AG pointed this out on Twitter, every LCS team, if they wanted to right now, could have an academy team in the league. You can't promote, but you could have an academy team that's built around developing talent in this region. They are choosing not to. So when we talk about like, oh, I know the import discussion is coming, and I'm saving it for a little bit later on this channel when I feel like it's like the right time to really hammer home the message. But I will just encourage people. The NACL starting up soon. If you have time, watch it. I know I don't, but I'm just trying to use this as promotion to help you all. there are going to be people that look at this series and say certain players on this team or on teams that we send to international events or America's Cup or beyond need to be replaced. That's the answer that everybody falls to immediately. To which I would say, if you can't name the right replacement, then that's a problem. And most people can't whenever I press them on these arguments. If you can, good for you. But the point is, we need to develop more talent to be able to push our teams at the top and get them ready and tested for these moments. It does not feel like Lion was tested in the same way that G2 was domestically once Lion started getting hot. G2 then, in these moments, is able to step up. Their ceiling feels a little bit higher. Their clutch factor feels a lot better. We need that in North America. And a lot of that comes with developing out our infrastructure, which again is just going to be a longer conversation. But I want to plant that seed for people that is coming. But that does wrap up North America's time here at First Stand. Europe will be playing tomorrow still, so there's still a little bit left to watch in this tournament. And I'll talk on Monday about like my key takeaways from this tournament, some of the things that need to change, some of the things that need to go into MSI, because boy, do I got some thoughts, but it doesn't feel like the right time for now. We need to watch this tournament flush out, play out. There could be points, say G2 does the impossible and beats Gen G somehow. I don't see a world where it happens, but hey, if they do, we got bigger things to talk about. This might be the year of EU in NA for whatever reason, but until we get there, for NA, it's the same thing with a different number at the end of the year. But hey, at least we didn't go out as the very first team this tournament, unlike last year. Sure, that's the double walk away with. Why not?